Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will be discussing ASP.NET Core important concepts and important questions that can be asked in interview for freshers as well as experience. So again, coding is a different thing where you are going to actually code the project, code the application, but you should be familiar with, you should know the concept of a particular framework, programming language, then only you can make an optimized code. And if you talk about the interview, so they are basically interested in knowing how much concept you know. So the important thing is like you should know each and everything about the file. So if I talk about ASP.NET Core, apart from all its benefits, like again, earlier it was specific to Windows platform, the server was IIS. Now this .NET Core app or ASP.NET Core, the main idea was to make it cross-platform, make it lightweight, make it available on different servers also, on IIS, on Kestrel, on Apache. So it is an open source. So all those things, they are already introduced. Plus, apart from this, new design patterns are included in ASP.NET Core, and we have dependency injection that is there out of the box, and this design pattern is in version of uh, control. So through this, you don't have to write that much code. You can just register your service, and you should also know the role of a startup class. As you know that everything is there in the program.cs. So each and everything that needs to be configured for the app, it should be there in the program.cs file. Any middleware, any type of new service registration, entity framework, all those things should be there in the startup class, or you can say program.cs file. It has two methods. One is like configure services and another is your configure. So again, configure method is used to add middleware components, and you know that middleware components are play a very important role. So in the processing of request, there will be number of middlewares, like you have cores, you have HTTP redirection, you have some body parser. So all those things, you have use host. So all these middleware, they are step by step process to resolve the request, and same for the response also. So configure method, basically that is there in the program.cs. It is basically used to add middleware component to the I application builder instance. Now, as I told you, inversion of control is very important feature that is by default included in .NET Core. Then request pipeline. So you know, we just discussed that what are the request pipelines. So in order to process a request, it goes with multiple middlewares. We just talked like it will be core, it will be HTTP redirection, it will be some entity framework, it will be some static files, use static files. So all those things that we use using app.use, those all middleware services that are used to process the request. Then there is a concept called short circuiting. So in middleware, while you are processing the request, when one middleware completes its job, it passes the control to the next. So again, request processing is a step-by-step process. It goes to multiple steps. So when we say short circuiting, means one middleware is not passing the response or the further request to the other middleware. So there is a function called next, so through which the requests are passed to other middlewares. So this is called short circuiting, where a particular middleware says that okay, I don't want to pass this particular information to another middleware. So that is called short circuiting. Then we have two very important methods that you should understand. One is app.use and one is app.run. So app.use method adds a middleware delegate. So as you know, all the things that we are using app.use, so it is used for middleware delegate. When you want to pass the context to the next middleware, then prefer app.use method. App.run method adds a terminal middleware delegate to application request pipeline when you want to terminate the pipeline. So it's very simple. Both are used for pipeline, but app.use means the series of the pipeline is running. So again, one middleware is passing request to another middleware, and then the other middleware is also passing the request to the other middleware. But in case of app.run, where you want to terminate, so we just discussed about short circuiting. So this is the same concept. Now you should know the middleware, like we have routing. So whenever a request comes, first middleware is like routing, to which route, to which URL it should be routed. Then app.use static files, app.use routing, app.use HTTPS redirection, so whether it is HTTP or HTTPS. Then you have, if you want to use this open API, where you are creating a web API with Swagger, where it gives you a platform to test, to document all the API. So all these things are used for middleware, and we will be using the method called app.use. Then we have request delegate. So again, these are HTTP requests used to build a request pipeline. Now there are some other concepts also, like generic host, and again we have ASP.NET Core Web Host. So what is the difference between these two? So these are also normally asked. So .NET generic host is recommended, and ASP.NET Core template builds in .NET generic host on, and everything, these all things. So you have to remember that all this configuration related, middleware related settings are to be done in the program.cs file. Then you should be familiar with ASP.NET Core servers. So we have, as I told you, we have different kinds of server, and since .NET Core is open source, so it is not limited to IIS only. We can use IIS server, we can use Kestrel server, we can use Apache server. So now it is compatible with all these servers. Then in terms of configuration, so you should remember that configuration is very important. Different type of configuration is done in ASP.NET. So if I talk about configuration, the main file in ASP.NET Core is appsetting.json file, where you put all the database related connection strings, and again in terms of other variables you can update in appsetting.json file. Then if I talk about the next file, we have launch setting, where if you want to have some different environment variable for different multiple environment, so we have this file called launch setting.json file, where you can use environment variable to configure application behavior based upon a runtime environment. So appsetting.json file, launch setting.json file. Then we have Key Vault, again it is from Azure, but these are the things that we can use for our environment variable, for our values that are to be used application wise. And if I talk about routing, so routing is also very important, where we use routing to route the request, and it is basically done by attribute also, where in the MVC we provide the attribute to which it should be routed, and we can also use in the program.cs file. So basically these are the few of the questions that are asked in ASP.NET Core. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and thank you for watching this video.